Respect the health right of India's children. The death of 25 children linked to contaminated cough syrup has shocked the conscience of nation. In a news cycle that often highlights man bites dog sensationalism, the general public is largely aware of two things: that 25 children died and that a pediatrician in Madhya Pradesh who defiantly prescribed the syrup to the children is said to have received a patry commission of 2.54 a bottle. Thus, the cost of each of those young life was 2.54. That all this happened despite the Union Health Ministry having banned certain cough syrup formulations for children under the age of 4 years. As recently as April 2025, citing the risk of contamination is shocking. There has also been much discussion on responsibility, which agency failed in its duty to monitor and prevent the distribution of syrup. The regulatory agencies in India responsible included the Central Drug Standard Control Organization under the Director General of Health Service, Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, Government of India, which handles large manufacturers of drugs and export approvals, the state drug control officer who handle the regulation, care, manufacture, sale, distribution of drug by small and medium scale manufacturer, where the focus need to be rather than apportion blame. It would be wise to allow the law to take its course. The focus must be on regulatory framework behind the distribution of pediatric medicines in India and the challenges India faces in ensuring the protection it has guaranteed to its children in Article 39F of a constitution, which is also listed as an important directive principle of state policy. Children, the age group under 18 years, make up 39% of India's population. There are a catena of law policies in India, approximately 13, that are specifically designed to protect children from the seminal National Policy of Children 1974 to the Indian Newborn Action Plan 2014. There are also about 10 pieces of legislation with special provisions for children such as preconception and prenatal diagnostic te- techniques act to the Aadhaar targeted delivery of financial and other subsidies benefit and services act significantly. While these are critical interventions, they focus heavily on protecting children in the workforce and preventing and punishing the sexual exploitation of children. There are important initiatives for children in health and education, but the specific area of pharmacovigilance in the dissemination of pediatric drug requires for more oversight and also the development of robust infrastructure. In a similar context, Dr. Harry Serki called children therapeutic orphans called children therapeutic orphans. Children are not small adult. Children are not small adults. The pharmacodynamic responses of the children and adult are very vastly different due to a spectrum of different psychologists. Further, clinical trials of drugs are usually conducted on adult and for ethical and other reasons, almost never on children, resulting in an alarming lack of pediatric guideline of doses administration. All too often, the doses and all too often the doses and administration of drugs for children are extrapolated from guidelines for adult, leaving children in much danger of overdose and more serious consequences. Special development strategies of drug for children are a cornerstone of their health care needs, particularly public health care. Overseas, the regulatory framework for children related pharmaceutical is an eye opener. In the European Union, it is under the pediatric use marketing authorization, and in the United States under the Best Pharmaceuticals for Children Act. Inter alia, such legislation also provide incentives for research into pediatric drugs. India does not have a specific policy or legislation and operates on general guidelines. Since children are totally dependent on their parents or guardians for their health needs, it is necessary that the government frames clear guidelines. Healthcare related financial burdens often cause many improvised families to fall into deeper poverty, making it even more vital that the pharmaceutical needs of children are made affordable. The essential medicines concept. Therefore, the introduction of the essential medicine concept in the healthcare sector contributes significantly to the greater availability and affordability of life saving medicines. Essential medicines are those which satisfy the priority healthcare needs of the population, are intended to be available in all healthcare systems, and are of quality and affordable. Several years ago, the World Health Organization introduced an essential medicine list for children. This is used by policymakers to update the EMLC's list in their own country. Although EML essential medicine list for adults are periodically revised, the essential medical medicine list for children is not addressed regularly. This requires immediate attention of policymakers. Other basic safe practices in the distribution of children's pharmaceuticals include constant education for caregivers and pharmacists, and making it mandatory to read and label, dispense the correct doses, and watch for side effects, particularly when buying over the counter medications. Regulation of other counter medication for children, especially for cough, cold, and fever, is an important dimension of public health care. The use of OTC medication varies in rural and urban areas, but it more common in urban settings. Public health care outlets are another areas of focus where clear guidelines need to be enforced in dispensing pharmaceuticals to children. A zero tolerance policy must be adopted against substitute or substandard medication. In the case of teenagers, attention must be paid to prevent the misuse of drugs. Over the last 3 years, WHO has issued several warnings on contaminated cough syrup. Some of these are related to cough syrup made in various places in India. Children have also died in Gambia, Uzbekistan, Indonesia, and Cameroon. As a result of these contaminated syrup, India has emerged as the pharmacy to the global south with huge export of cough syrups. But this carries with it a responsibility to ensure the absolute safety of medicines exported. Need for India data. India's health policy with regard to Patriotic medicines cannot be framed only on the basis of data on children available from other countries. Our genetics are unique to us and our research need to be based on wholly Indian data. Nor should data on patriotic medicines be extrapolated from data that is related to adults. We owe a fiduciary duty to our children to take care in framing a health policy for them. We expect responsible policymaker to take into account diverse factors including awareness of environmental pitfalls such as how toxicity toxicity of a cough syrup may be exacerbated by malnutrition in children. Thus, adult medicine modified during administration to children can only be considered as off-label and unlicensed. They should not be used at all since they are contraindicated in terms of formulation, age, and indicator. Clearly, monitoring safe medicine use in children is of utmost important. The use of medicine not proven to be safe for children is a violation of the right of voiceless children. Violation of the rights of voiceless children. India urgently needs a robust and holistic infrastructure to monitor and promote awareness of safety protocols with regard to medicines given to children. So this was the article of an editorial, uh, respect the health right of children children, and this article was written by Jayanthi Natarajan, who is a former union minister, an advocate, and a columnist. That's all for today.